Okay, shalom. I am Naomi Miller, representing the Detroit Federation here in Israel, and welcome back to our third of 4 virtual tours of our Israel mission, supported by the Detroit Federation and the Israel Consulate in Chicago. 2 weeks ago, we visited the old city of Jerusalem, including some fascinating new excavations. And last week, we enjoyed the smells, tastes, colors, and art of Jerusalem's Machane Yehuda market. And next week, we will be in Tel Aviv. But today, now, for the next hour, we'll have a special visit to a unique and very active Michigan Central Galilee Partnership region. And as you will see, Israel is full of history, but it's so much about the people. We will be hosted today by several people, led by Benny Levine of Let Travel, who you met over the last 2 sessions, and our very own Yoav Rabban, Detroit Federation's rep in the region. If there should be any technical issues, we recommend that you put your view in speaker view and be patient if something stops working. It usually only takes a couple of seconds to get back on track. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. And now, to meet the people behind the special Michigan Central Galilee Partnership, let me introduce you to the director of the partnership, Noah. Over to you, Noah.
Hi, everyone. I am so excited to see everyone here. We've been waiting to have you. We miss you. We're used to share, to have like tons and tons of visits during these times of the year, especially in the autumn. So we are now away from each other, and this is the closest way that we felt we were able to get you here. So before we start, we would like to share a short video that will try to explain a little bit the essence of the partnership. Enjoy, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
אז אני ילדת שותפות. התחלתי את הדרך שלי אי שם ב-2002 במשלחת הראשונה לתמרק, ואני מרגישה שבהרבה מובנים החוויה הזאת השפיעה על כל מסלול חיי אחר כך.
Partnership Together program is really about 2 communities working together to make a difference and really creating a family between Central Galilee and Michigan.
Without the partnership program, I wouldn't have met Lital. I wouldn't be here today.
I have a soul sister in United States.
The Central Galilee Michigan Partnership Together, which was founded in 1994 as part of the Partnership Together project of the Jewish Agency for Israel, connects the residents of Migdal HaEmek, Nazareth Illit, and the Jezreel Valley with the members of Jewish communities in Michigan. Volunteers from both communities work together to apply the partnership's values and implement joint projects. For many young Israelis, participating in the various projects offers an opportunity to get to know American Jewish families and to learn about Jewish community life in the United States.
בעצם אנחנו לא מאוד נחשפים ליהדות ארצות הברית, לא מבחינת המסורת שלהם ולא מבחינת ההתנהגות שלהם, ודווקא מתוך המקום של פתאום אנחנו לומדים מהרגליים ובאמת נפגשים עם האנשים, אז נותן לנו באמת זווית ראייה שהיא שונה לגמרי לגבי היהדות שלנו ולגבי היהדות באופן כללי.
לנוער זה עוד יותר משמעותי פתאום להבין שיש יהודי שחי במדינה אחרת, ויש לו שגרת חיים אחרת, והוא בוחר להיות יהודי, והוא לוקח חלק בכל מיני מסגרות יהודיות שיש באזור שבו הוא חי, ומה זה אומר בעצם להיות יהודי שהוא לא במדינת היהודים.
The Central Galilee Michigan Partnership runs various projects for youth and adults with one common denominator, a deep and genuine connection between people and communities.
I think that we felt that we're really welcome here.
I hope that this is a start of a long friendship. You guys are always welcome in our home, and hopefully this will be a location that in the future Chabad Nadi you say, I felt the most important. Thank you. For sure.
I actually first met you before I even met you. I met your wife, Mina, at her school. That was my first trip back to Israel in 27 years.
Can you believe that we met in October of 2012?
Remember, you came to my house?
From our side of the ocean, the more connection that we can give people to this place, to Israel, to me, the better.
Some of my best memories are in the partnership, and I didn't realize it would have that impact on me.
בלי המתנדבים של התוכנית, אין את התוכנית. המהות שלה היא האנשים, היא הסביבה, היא התקשורת בין האנשים, היא הקשר בין האנשים.
So, I hope you enjoyed that. So I hope that you got a little bit of a sense of why we are here, why the partnership even exists. Yes, we have many programs, English language program, and the Israeli Camper program, and teen leadership, and the Lasser Ambassador program. But all of these programs, the essence and the reason why they exist is to create relationships, to create meaningful relationships between the Israelis who live here in the Central Galilee region and the Jewish communities in Michigan. Because if you want to create a real connection beyond the history and beyond media and beyond what you hear from wherever, it's through people and through your friends and through your family. So please consider all of us your extended family, and this will always be your home away from home. And now I would like to go and introduce you through a short video to our co-chairs on the partnership on the Israeli side.
Noah, you're muted.
Go.
Hi, Avi.
Hi, Ruthie. Hi, our friend from Detroit, Michigan, Detroit, our family, our deep family. We are the two co-chair of this magnificent partnership, and the idea that we are here now is to welcome you to Israel.
So usually when you come here to the region area, we bring you here to this magnificent place where you can see the three communities. You can see Migdal HaEmek, the water tower, you see beneath the Jezreel Valley, and just in front of us is Nofa Galil. It's our three communities here in the region. So we welcome you to this virtual movie. Hopefully you can next time be here physically. We miss you very much.
B'Shana Haba in the partnership region.
So I understand that I was muted. So these were Avi Aviram and Ruthie Zamir, our co-chairs of the partnership on the Israeli side. So I hope that you enjoyed them. They are here. You will be able to speak with them a little bit afterwards. And now I'm giving the stage to our co-chairs on the Detroit end, Ron Salish and Randy Sakwa. Take it away.
Good morning and evening, everyone. For me, P2G runs deep in my heart. There are so many amazing memories and time spent with our Israeli family, whether working or having fun together, whether in Michigan or in Israel. It's the people-to-people connections, like Noah said, and the lasting bonds of friendship built over the years that we have all come to cherish, and what I can best describe as the true impact, value, and essence of partnership, that we all have a home away from home and are here for each other. My Federation Women's Mission Israel in 2012 was life-changing in so many ways, but with the most meaningful being a Shabbat home hospitality visit to Ruthie Zamir's, where our friendship was forged and has included hosting her daughter and her son's best friend for ICP, with many visits later becoming P2G co-chairs together, and most recently with the Zamirs generously hosting my daughter Haley for a Shabbat weekend while she was in Israel. We've laughed together, cried together, biked and hiked and shopped together, and although our visits are on hold temporarily, Zoom and WhatsApp will just have to do. Miss you all as well, hope to see you soon. Our distance across the miles is many, but our partnership is truly Shatai Kehilot Mishpacha Echad, two communities, one family. Love you all.
Thank you, Randy. That was, I'm almost crying, but we're used to it. So now for the next hour, our MCs, Benny Levine and Yoav Rabban, take it away, enjoy.
Well, I'm gonna start us off. Shalom to my M&Ms, my Michigan Mishpacha. I know it was a big weekend. I try to represent as best as I can. So Spartans, you get the t-shirt today. You get the logo. Wolverines, you get the mug.
both equally important. You know, I know some sad, some happiness, but I promise you I'm completely neutral. I love you guys equally the same, depending on who I'm talking to at that point in time. Toda rabba, Noah. Toda rabba to Nomi, my dear colleague. As she said, we both represent our Detroit Federation here in Israel. And if you followed Nomi and Benny's Jerusalem adventure, you could tell that Nomi was even a bit extra passionate when she took her around Jerusalem, because this is a place where she gets to call home, where our Detroit Federation office is located. And now I get to do the same. Look at this view behind me. I get to bring you to our partnership region, a place I get to call home. And I work in our partnership office together with Noah, who you just met. And since this is all about meeting the people in the partnership, and I happen to be one of them, how about I start us off with just a very quick intro about myself. As you can see over here, this is my small kibbutz called Ramat David, just about 120 families. Right next to it, you can see the very big runways of the Ramat David Air Force Base, with my head kind of right in between. And this is something we'll talk about later on when we'll get to the Jezreel Valley. I am married to Anna. I have both have two kids, almost 6-year-old and an almost 2-year-old. And I started my work for the Federation 13 years ago. But my connection to Michigan actually started almost 20 years ago. So there are many, wonderful people-to-people programs that we will talk about throughout, this great visit to a partnership region. Now, I told you I'm a member of the kibbutz that I just showed you. And the only time as a member of the kibbutz I got to leave my kibbutz was 13 years ago, as I just mentioned, when I actually moved to Detroit for almost 4.5 years to be the Israeli emissary, the community shaliach. And the kibbutz at that time, he said to me, you get a 1-year sabbatical in order to keep your rights as a member of the kibbutz. That 1 year became 4.5 years. And at that point, the kibbutz pretty much gave me an ultimatum. Either you're gonna stay in Detroit or come back to to the kibbutz. So I decided to, come back to the kibbutz. And now I consider myself to be a Michigan emissary here in Israel. But for you guys, I gotta tell you, you pretty much upgraded my position since the time that I left. For those of you who got a chance to meet Nina and her amazing family, who was there as our community shlicha for the past few years. And now you have Yiftach and his amazing family. And you should look around in the boxes. Yiftach is the one who probably will be waving right now. I can't even find him in the boxes, but he'll be the one waving in one of them. And he's there with his wife Paz and their daughter Ella. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a secret that one of the main reasons Yiftach actually got the position is because his wife Paz is actually from our partnership region. Not to take anything away from Yiftach, who is a great educator, a super mensch, and also a reserve Air Force pilot, which again was only secondary for his wife being from our region. I encourage all of you guys to meet Yiftach when you get a chance. Now, I am super excited. Let's get this thing started. I gotta tell you guys that this is the part that I miss the most. I mean, this is having you guys from Michigan coming into our partnership region is, one of the aspects of my work that I really don't consider my work. I consider it a privilege for, the 20 years that, I had a connection to Michigan, all the times that I came to visit you guys over there. You made, Michigan feel like my second home and my home away from home. Every time I get to bring you guys over here and take you around our beautiful partnership region, talk to you about, how special this relationship is all about. For me, it's just, getting a little bit back, of the, basically the eternal debt that I have. Now I'm also excited to bring my good friend Benny along with me. So Benny, please join me, because I'm super excited to be taking you around with Benny as we get the chance to start our tour. And so Benny, my good friend, being the great tour guide that you are, the extraordinary tour guide who knows every place, in every rock and in every tree. Let's say that you have a Detroit family who's coming here, for the very first time. Let's say the Cooperman family are just arriving in Israel for the very first time. And they want you to take them to the Central Galilee, because they heard it's their partnership region and they want to check it out. Where would you take them, Benny?
Where? Wait, Central Galilee? Okay, let me show you what I know about Galilees, and then you can decide if we have a Central Galilee or not. I hope I can bring the people to you, because I'm not sure. So we've been to Jerusalem, right? been traveling to Jerusalem, and now we are going to the Galilee. So let me show you what do I know about different Galilees. So Galilee is divided mainly to two areas. One is called the Upper Galilee, and one called the Lower Galilee. The Upper Galilee is much higher mountains, about 3,000 feet. The Lower Galilee, the mountains are much lower, and they are about 1,500 feet in the highest. We also have another area right here called the Western Galilee, and that's the coastal line about from Haifa and up north. So you are telling me Central Galilee, Yoav, I'm not sure I'm following. This is what I know. As I said, we have the Western Galilee, the Upper Galilee, and the Lower Galilee right here. So, Yoav, how did you come up with a name? Like, where is it? Where is it? What's happening here?
Oh, Benny, that is such a great question, my friend. And to that, we have to bring in another very close friend of ours and really have an opportunity to say Toda Rabba and thank you to our good friend Bob Aronson, who was the CEO of the Detroit Federation for over 20 years. And it was really thanks to Bob that we got this, partnership region right here in what we call the Central Galilee. Bob had a family connection to our region. His grandparents first actually came to my kibbutz, which had a different name at that point in time, and then moved away from my kibbutz and established a new kibbutz called Yifat, which is right next to my kibbutz. And Bob got a chance to, come here as a teenager and spent many summers here in our Jesuit Valley in the region. So we got to know it very well. And he actually went to the Jewish Agency, who just started this connection between Jewish communities, in North America and regions in Israel. And he said to them, this is the area that I want. I want the Jesuit Valley, and I want this partnership region. And he had the vision and foresight that he knew it's going to be such a great match for our Michigan community. And also, the fact that he brought in Migdal HaEmek and Nof HaGalil along to create the Central Galilee, that really allowed us to have a microcosm of the entire, social fabric of the Israeli society, all in one very small region that we all get to benefit from when we come to visit. So Toda Rabba to Bob, and you can really see on the picture, above me here, that, his connection was so meaningful and profound that he chose to get married right here in the partnership region over a year ago. So Toda Rabba to Bob, and Benny, my friend, I think we're ready to start our visit to our very first, partnership community, the city of Nof HaGalil. Take us, show us where we're going.
So I actually realized that now that you took an area in the Lower Galilee and made it into a Central Galilee. So what we have here is the partnership region built from a mountain range called the Nazareth Mountain Range, where the first place where we're going to visit called Nof HaGalil. We also have the second place we're going to visit called Migdal HaEmek, and it also sits on the same mountain range. And then we have a huge valley right here, all of that valley called the Jezreel Valley, and that's really amazing. But we are starting from this first spot, this green part called Nof HaGalil. I heard that the name changed, Yoav. What happened?
Yes. Benny, my friend, you're absolutely correct. And again, a great question. You see these two city signs, between my head. And again, it looks only, the same location, same design, same font. And that is not because, all city signs in Israel look alike. It's actually because the city really very recently just changed its name, from Nazareth Elite, which actually means Upper Nazareth, to Nof HaGalil, which translates to the Scenic Galilee. And you can see right in the middle here, the municipality building. We can actually see the new name, the municipality of Nof HaGalil. And underneath it, you really see kind of faded, down here is the old name of Nazareth Elite. And I actually kind of like that, the fact that you see the new name, but you still see the faded name here, because it's very symbolic that, there's a famous saying that for us, to know our future, we have to kind of understand and be connected to our past. So I love that. And Nוף HaGalil, again, is such a great city. And I want to tell you a little bit about it. I put this graph here in the middle. You can see Nוף HaGalil right next to the city of Nazareth. I mentioned the name, Upper Nazareth, that they got because of their proximity to the Arab city of Nazareth. We'll get to visit very soon. And you see there's a few things that are very interesting about the city of Nוף HaGalil, if you can see from the graph. On the one hand, you look at the city of Nazareth, the Arab Nazareth, was predominantly a Muslim city, 80% Muslim population in the city of Nazareth. And this is really a very natural growth that you would like to see in a city, starting, from a certain year going up to a different, newer year. You see the population is steadily growing, which is very evident of an Arab city with big families who get to keep, the young families that get to stay in the city. They raise their own families there. For those of you who've been to Israel and those of you who will come, hopefully in the near future, you can tell a difference sometimes between an Arab community and an Israeli community by the way the houses look. The flat houses within the Arab community is because every time somebody gets married, they just simply add on another floor of the house, and the houses keep on growing. As you see these big houses with flat, top, houses, for the family to grow. On the other hand, you will see in the Israeli communities, you see the red tile roof of the Israeli city. And something very interesting about Nוף HaGalil, first of all, you see the growth. It's a relatively new city. If you can see the graph, the city was established only in 1974. It was recognized as a city, and very rapidly it grew very fast. In the early 90s, Israel absorbed over 1 million Jews from the former Soviet Union. In Nazareth elite back then, Nוף HaGalil now, that was a top destination for them. So very quickly, in a matter of a few years, the city doubled its population with that aliyah from the former Soviet Union. But then something very interesting is happening that I think you guys in Michigan can actually relate to that. And this is very unique to Israeli cities. You suddenly see a decline in the population in the city. There's a very unique challenge to Nוף HaGalil. Obviously, I can't compare it to the Arab city of Nazareth. I can compare, families from the former Soviet Union and their natural growth to the natural growth of Arab families. No comparison there. But even if I take a city like Carmiel, which is north of Nוף HaGalil, and have almost as very similar demographics, you see, even though they continue to have a steady, uprise, of their population. Even if it's very slow, it's still rising. But it declined in the city of Nוף HaGalil, and that is due to a negative immigration of young people moving away from the city, young families moving away, and people from a higher socioeconomic, status moving away from the city. And I know you guys can really relate to that, because the other city I visited who suffered from the same thing happens to be you guys over there in Detroit. But Benny, my friend, how about we get into this, great city, and let's get our first taste of it, What, kind of like something that makes this city, very special and unique in terms of getting a flavor of it. What is it all about?
So I tell you what, people ask me, where should I go to Nazareth, Elite, or Nוף HaGalil? And the best thing about Nוף HaGalil is that it have an unbelievable factory that have chocolate. They make chocolate. So the most famous Israeli chocolate right here, look at this, it's a festival. This festival happens once a year, and the factory that making this chocolate called the cow chocolate, you actually can buy it, and later on I will ask you off to tell you where you can buy it back at home, because it's really worth it. And some people will say, a lot of the kids from the Teen Mission will probably say that the best chocolate that this company make is the ones with the candies that explode in your mouth.
The Pop Rock, yeah.
The Pop Rock. And the first time you can see a kid that's happening to him, it's worth every second. So one time a year, Nוף HaGalil is hosting a chocolate festival with the best chocolate makers from all over Israel. And that's something that is super exciting and very, very special and worth visiting, because people are coming from all over the country to visit this festival. So that's one of the best things that happening in Nוף HaGalil is this amazing festival. What else?
Well, we get to see, again, you get to see the mayor of Nof HaGalil, who's done so many great things for his city. Again, I spoke about him changing the name to Nof HaGalil. He wants to rebrand the city, and he continues to do amazing things to develop it, including this international chocolate, festival you just see. And he really takes a lot of pride in that. In every chocolate festival that the city is hosting, he gets to be like the Israeli Santa Claus and walk around and, giving everybody, the candies. And, if you mentioned, where can you get this candy? So one thing, if you go to One Stop at Oak Park, you can get the candies. The Plum Market, Kroger will have the elite, candies for you, chocolate. And also, Nomi is going to send a quiz to everybody who's been a part of our virtual tour at the end of it. And if you get the answers right, you're going to get a package, a goodies package from us. And we promise you that goodies package will include some chocolate, some elite chocolate in it. And if you can't get it, look at these guys over here with Mark Kowalski, Larry Tisdale, Rich Broder. Happy Halloween. You want to trick or treat in their house? They got a package of chocolate that they took from from their tour in the factory. Go trick or treat in their house and see if they have any of it left. So Benny, we had a great first flavor of the city, but we call it the Scenic Galilee for a reason, Nof HaGalil. So how about show us how the city looks like? What makes us the Scenic Galilee? That the people kind of voted to be their name.
So first of all, I want to start with this picture, because right here you can see this mountain and you can see this valley. So if you look, this is the same mountain, this is the valley. Look how beautiful it is. And try to imagine having a house right here on the edge. This is Nof HaGalil. There is no better explanation to that, because look, everywhere you look from the city, you will see mountains surrounding you, valleys surrounding you. It's actually a very, very pretty city. And what can I tell you? That's how it looks like from above. You can see a mix between private houses and a mix between houses that are going tall and have a beautiful view. And I, as you already know, fly paragliders. And here it is right now. This is the season. This has been taking 2 weeks ago on Friday. We're flying above Nazareth. So try to imagine, we always think about a view house as a private house with a pool, and that's nice, but it don't have to be this. This is a mixed city, different houses. Those are apartment buildings, and those are still having winning the same amazing view of the valley, of the Jezreel Valley. So that's what we have here. And I think it's actually justifying the name, the choosing
Absolutely.
of the new name.
Absolutely justifying the name, Benny. And you showed us how beautiful the city is, surrounded by forest. And unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, this city experienced, a very tragic natural tragedy. That, I want you to tell everybody here kind of what happened to that city, kind of take us, through that.
So a few weeks ago, we experienced a really bad fire. It was a very big fire, a fire that went for a few days. And again, you can even recognize the same mountain, Mount Tabor, and the fire coming up with the smoke. It's really, really bad. We have lost over 1,000 acres of wood and natural forest. Actually, this forest was a forest that was planted by the JNF, the Jewish National Fund. And the Jewish National Fund, in many times, you are part of planting those trees. Those are forests that the Jews abroad or communities sending money to plant trees. That's amazing. I want you to just see how beautiful. This is one of the neighborhoods. We're actually gonna, I heard we even have a guest that we're gonna be filming right here, but you can see the forest and the houses.
Yeah.
So not the only thing that went away, I think that this shot of flying drone shows you how beautiful is this city surrounded by nature. But this fire didn't affect only the nature. It's actually affected also the people around.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely, Benny. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, because you showed how close, the forest gets to the actual houses of the people. And as you just said, it wasn't just the trees, in the scenic beauty that was jeopardized. And we also are talking about more than 5,000 people who had to, in an instant, evacuate their homes. And mind everybody who's listening, this could objectively can be happening every time something like that is happening is, terrible timing. But we're talking about a time where our country was in a national COVID lockdown, in the midst of, an unprecedented economic crisis. And suddenly you get this, and you get a call that you need to evacuate your house right now. And 5,000 people, got that call. And amongst those 5,000 families, one of our closest and dearest partnership families also got that call. And that is the Reuveni family that we love so much. And we want to go and say hi to the Reuveni family. So how about we bring them in and say hi and get to know the Reuveni family.
Hello, everyone. My friend in Detroit. Hello to Milgrom. Mr. Milgrom, thank you about the hat. And I'm Uri Reuveni from Nazareth Elite Nofa Galil. I'm volunteer many years. I do a lot of things in the partnership. And when I was a principal of Gilad School, I do a big project about school to school with Bet Shalom in Oak Park in Detroit. And we do a lot of things. The final of this project, it was a circle of Detroit that we took money from our parents here in Gilad School and our parents of Bet Shalom in Detroit, and build with the principal of Nazareth Elite a big circle. We call it Circle of Detroit Circle.
Hi there, Michigan friends. I'm Eden Reuveni. This is my dad. I'm second generation to the partnership. I've been to the Israeli Camper program. After that, I've been to Teen Mission, and I came back as a counselor to Tamara Camps. And I did a birthright a few years ago. And that's because of my dad. That's how I started this whole thing. I started the whole connection. And this is all about people to people.
This was so great. And we have such a privilege. I'm hearing that we get to interview Eden, who you just met, Uri's daughter. Let's see if we can bring her in along for the ride. And let's bring Eden with us. Let's see if we can get her on. Eden, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is so exciting. Eden, so first of all, thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking time. I know we just literally virtually abducted you from your virtual classes in school.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Eden, we just saw this, terrible tragedy. And one can only imagine what you guys must have, gone through and were thinking when something like that is happening. I know that, sometimes we as Jews, we imagine the worst. So we're thinking, if somebody's telling us you got to leave your house right now, what is the one thing we're going to take with us, before we leave? Because I'm sure that thought that you might not see your house again, that you grew up in and your personal belongings must have gone through your mind. What does it feel like going through such a terrible experience?
It was really hectic. We came to the house. We just adopted a dog that morning, and we came with it. And then we heard police cars outside of the house saying, "Everyone evacuate right now. You have to go out. There's very thick smoke, and you can't breathe it." And we had to took just us, and my sister and 3 nephews were with us at the same day. So we had to take 3 babies and a puppy. And my mom and dad and my boyfriend, we all had to go into the cars and just don't look back. We can't grab anything. There's no time.
Wow. Wow. I can only imagine. I remember talking to your dad. He told me that he even left his cell phone behind in the house. And that shows you the generational gap. I don't think anyone in your age would have ever left his cell phone or her cell phone behind when something like that has happened. I think that was the first time your generation probably would have taken with them. But we're glad that you're safe. Your family is safe. You got a chance to go back to your house, and that is very lucky. Unfortunately, some people didn't get a chance to do that. Now, Eden, we only have you for one more minute. And very briefly want to, bring you back to that challenge that I mentioned about, your city, Nofa Galil, that we showed. You're just about to graduate, with such a great degree, in high tech, which you can do whatever you want with. You can go wherever you want. What are your plans for the near future? We're thinking about where you are right now in Nofa Galil.
So I really like the North, and especially Nofa Galil. And I'm going to finish a degree in computer science. So I'm going to work in some kind of high-tech company. And I really want to do it in the North, in Yokneam. Maybe in Nofa Galil, there are many opportunities. Even though a lot of young adults just leave the city because there's no way to develop themselves there, they come back. Maybe they'll come back because we'll see everything that the mayor is doing for us, that he's giving job opportunities, and he's investing in the kids and the education, and he's doing a lot, and we're really grateful for that. And hopefully that we could do it together, Detroit and Nofa Galil. We could just find a way to give it back, bring people back.
I hope so too. And Eden, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And we're so happy that we might get a chance to keep you in our partnership family right here in Nofa Galil. And I'm getting, an update from the control room that our Detroit, co-chair Randy Sakwa has some very exciting news to share with us, something related to the forest fire that just happened in the city of Nofa Galil. Randy, can you hear me?
I can, Yoav. The recent fires that have devastated parts of Nofa Galil and its people hurt our hearts. And we knew we had to do something meaningful to show our support and commitment to our region. Therefore, our partnership will be gifting 150 trees to be planted and replace some of those destroyed by the fire to beautify their city once again.
Wow. That is very moving, Randy, and again shows you the strength, of our partnership. And so thank you, to Eden again. Thank you to her dad. Uri, you can see him here, the Detroit Square he talked about. Uri is such a committed volunteer for us, and all the groups, that are coming to Nofa Galil to visit. He always takes the time to show us to the landmark that he initiated, the Detroit Square right in Nofa Galil. Benny, my friend, we are short on time.
Indeed.
We have to keep this thing going.
That we saw what you do and what you say about that. Applause to you. Thank you.
So great. Thank you, Uri. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. And keep that hat going. And Benny, my friend, we're short on time. We're going to move to our second location, the city of Migdal Emek. But before that, we have a very quick stop on the way. Where are we going?
So look, it's all great, but I have to say Eden was with me on the teen mission. It was amazing. I have to say that I have the chills when you talk about, look how many people are involved in this. I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm excited. So I have to say, literally, not because, it's just really what made me going, and it was inspiring for me 13 years ago, and really influenced what I do. And I'm not even part of the partnership region, at least physically. So I'm sorry that I know we are short on time, but we're going from Nofa Galil. I had to say it. I just share the feeling from Nofa Galil to Migdal Emek, but right here in the middle, it's Nazareth. So I want you to imagine that we actually talking about a city, an old city that is 1,000 years old. We have a huge church, huge basilica, the biggest one in Israel, that's really attracting a huge amount of tourists. So this is not just your home away from home. This is a place where most of the people will come and visit if they are Christians, because right here, it's the place where Mary was announced that she's going to have Jesus. That's where the same city where Jesus spent his childhood. Here's the mountain where he walked to here and he took a leap of faith and jumped off the mountain without a paraglider into this beautiful valley. All of this happening in Nazareth. Nazareth, as you said, Yoav, it's a Muslim city, and but it's also very holy for Christianity. And here's the room where Mary was announced, And right here, one of the other interesting things that you can see is they come here on Christmas. It's really amazing, but let's really go to the next spot. So Yoav, where are we going? We're going to Migdal HaEmek. I'm giving it back to you. Let's go to Migdal HaEmek. So come. There is a lot of things to see.
Oh, this is our next stop right here, Migdal HaEmek. And I'm not going to be the one taking you through Migdal HaEmek, because for this special place, we have two very, very special people, beloved in our partnership family from both sides of the ocean. They're such a poster couple and poster family for our partnership that the Jewish agency actually made a real life posters of them and hung them in the Ben Gurion International Airport, so everybody will get a chance to see how amazing this couple and family are. And you got Jennifer Levine, the director of Israel Overseas Department, and Rich Broder, our former partnership chair, modeling the big life posters of our partnership family. So Evyatar and Liraz, our dear friends who call Migdal HaEmek their home, please take us through your special city. Take it away.
Shalom, everyone. We're so happy. We're thrilled to be here tonight or this morning. This is Liraz. I'm Evyatar from Migdal HaEmek. I actually got to know the Detroit community in 2002 when I was sent to be one among 300 campers to Tamarack Camp, Israeli camper program. And I came back in 2013 as a shaliach, as an emissary, both for Hill of Metro Detroit and for Federation.
Hi, I'm Liraz, and I started my relationship with Jewish Detroit in 2009 when I got to Tamarack as a shlicha after my army service. After that, I came back. I worked a little bit for the teen leadership program, teen mission, and then together with Evyatar, we moved to Detroit, and we made Detroit our home for 3 years when I worked at Hillel University of Michigan. And Evyatar?
Actually, we met at Tamarack, 2011, we met at Tamarack. And before we're gonna tell you about the wonderful city of Migdal HaEmek, which will just clarify what is ICP, Israeli Camper Program. It's all actually started 2002 after the second Intifada. Unfortunately, Detroit canceled the teen mission to Israel. And instead of it, they chose to bring 300 Israeli campers to Tamarack. I was one among them. And starting then, we actually bring in every year about 100 campers. It means, in a rough calculation, we have more than 2,000 Israeli campers that been to Tamarack camps. And the most amazing part of it is those campers, after each session, are going to hospitality within the Jewish community families and getting to know both Detroit and making connections for a lifetime. I was one of them. And Liraz, do you want to tell us about, Benny, I'll share more about Migdal HaEmek before you show us the industrial park. I'll share that Migdal HaEmek was established in 1953. It was established by both Chinese and North African immigrants. That's crazy because we don't have more Chinese immigrants nowadays. The name Migdal HaEmek, Tower and the Valley, we actually, as you can see on this picture, we're watching all over the Jezreel Valley. Today we have roughly about 30,000 residents, very, very diverse. A third of them are ultra-Orthodox community. Another third is, like you have mentioned, immigrants from the Soviet Union. And it's a city that combines both small community and a city. It has the luxury of having both. Benny, do you want to fly with us to the industrial park of Migdal HaEmek? Take us there. As you can see behind us, this is the industrial park of Migdal HaEmek. It has more than 100 different companies that all together, both low tech and high tech. Actually, one of the unique things that the industrial park in Migdal HaEmek has, that all the companies are actually giving back to the community, either by donation or they are volunteering in the community. One of the wonderful company is called Tower Semiconductor, which they actually, their employees, you see here the blue one, they are volunteering in the wonderful English program that we have. But hold on a second, Benny, I see some solar panels. Do you want to tell us what are those solar panels? You're on mute. Benny, mute.
I love to speak to myself. It's amazing. So, as you can see, a lot of roofs have solar panels because in Israel, we have 361 or 2 days of sun. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but some areas for sure have like a lot in the Negev desert. So those are another way to have green energy, electric power for the factory, but also supply the power to all of the country. But let me show you something else that I heard that happening in the city. What is this? Eviatar, what is this? What do we see here? I think I see your house.
Indeed, that's our new house. And thank you, Benny, for explaining us about the panel. That was very interesting. But it's not the only interesting thing that's happening here in Migdal HaEmek, because in the next 5 years, Migdal HaEmek is actually about to double itself, which is pretty amazing, because if you remember what Yoav just said about Nof HaGalil, a lot of young adults are leaving the area, but actually people are choosing to come back here to Migdal HaEmek. Part of the reason is what Eviatar talked about the industrial park that we have here that brings a lot of job opportunities to people. It's also related to a lot of transportation changes that we have here in Israel that connects between the center of Israel to the northern part, but it's actually, the real reason is about the people. You know, our partnership is people to people, and Migdal HaEmek is really like one big family. I can say that I'm not a native Migdal HaEmek, but people here welcome me just like I was one of them. And it's amazing because actually everyone knows each other. So one of the reasons why people are choosing to come here is because in the last few years, Migdal HaEmek has made a big change. And one of the things is that she actually won some prizes, both in the educational area, being one of the best educational systems in the area, but also as a volunteer municipality, meaning that in Migdal HaEmek, there are more volunteers than in any other municipality here around, which is something that we take very proudly here in the city. So in the next 5 years, 6,000 families, young families are going to join here our Migdal HaEmek and make Migdal HaEmek their own. And I just want to say that us as young families are not the only one to gain out of this great educational system, because our partnership as well. I don't know if you're all familiar with the Shinshinim program, but Shinshin means gap year, which is a lot of teens are choosing to postpone their army service, and they're taking 1 year of their life to give back to their community. And thankfully, our amazing Jewish Detroit and our federation decided that we need Shinshinim as well. And last year, after a few years that we dreamed about it and we worked on it, 4 Israelis from our area, which were ICP programs, which were in our leadership program, they chose to postpone their army service and they left to Detroit, where they lived for almost a year. And I'm very excited to introduce Alon, who wants to say hi, because he was one of them.
Hi, Alon.
Hi guys, my name is Alon and I am the former Shinshin of the Jewish community of Metro Detroit. I spent almost a year in the community, but unfortunately I was sent back home back in March due to COVID-19. And I miss you all guys. I really want to come back and visit. I live in Migdal HaEmek, which is one of the 3 municipalities in our partnership region. Me and my family just want to say hi and that you are always welcome in our home and in our community and generally in Israel. Come visit. So I miss you guys and hope to see you here very soon. Bye guys.
Thank you to Alon. And just for you all to know that this Shinshinim program is continuing. And this year, Yuval Aviram, which is Avi's son, Avi you met before, one of our amazing co-chairs, is now serving as a Shinshin in Detroit. And I'm sure you all get to meet him and you'll fall in love with him. So now from one great success story to another, and I'm very, very honored to introduce Matan and Yonatan Asya. They're part of a very special family, the Asya family. Their mom is amazing. She's an educator working in one of the educational programs here in our community. And they're also happen to be Ethiopian. We said that Migdal Emek is so special because of the diversity of our community. And they're a part of the Ethiopian community and they take a huge pride in it. So let's see them and hear from them.
Hi, my name is Matan and I'm almost 70 years old. I was an Israeli camper 3 years ago in Tamara camps, and today I'm part of the team leadership here on ICP, and I want to say hi to the campers and that I hope that I will see you next year, because this year due to the coronavirus we couldn't go to TSS.
Hi, I'm Yonatan, Matan's brother. I was in the Israeli camper program 2 years ago, and right now I'm in the team leadership, maybe to come back as camp and stay in a connection with people from Michigan and my friends that doesn't live near me and was in camp with me. And I want to say hi to the Freeman family too.
Wow, that was exciting. We're going to conclude the tour in Migdal Emek. We're going to say, we're going to welcome you to visit us very soon.
In person.
In person. Yoav, do you want to take us to Jezreel Valley? We know it was short about Migdal Emek, but...
yeah, it was very short, you know, but thank you, Evyatar and Liraz, as always. You know, when we're very short on time, we'll see you again, hopefully soon in person. And we're about to get into the Jezreel Valley, the place that I get to call home, where my kibbutz is. But before we actually get into the communities of the Jezreel Valley, we're going to leave the city of Migdal Emek in blue. We're going to start making our way into the Jezreel Valley. But on the way, Benny, my friend, we're going through the field, and we have some special guests who are waiting to say hello to us right there, you know, under bikes, I think, right? Where are they? Where are our guests?
So it's just really amazing.
أهلا وسهلا، سلامات، بنرحب فيكم في مسار الدراجات المشترك للعرب واليهود. أنا هشام بشارات من يافت الناصري. كتير مبسوطين إنه تيجوا تشاركونا في مسار الدراجات.
שלום, אני אמיר ממגדל העמק. ברוכים הבאים לשביל השותפות, נעים ביחד.
Hi there, I'm Michael from Solalim. Welcome to the Hike and Bike Partnership Trail. We call it Naim Bayachad. It basically means in rough English, moving together or pleasant together. You can choose whichever name you like.
The partnership trail is pathing through 5 communities. It's Nofa Galil and Nazareth and Yafia and Emek Israel and Migdal Emek. And people from all communities come and ride and walk in this path.
Okay, so normally I wouldn't even know Hisham or Amir. Hisham is from Yafia, Amir is from Migdal Emek, I'm from a kibbutz. We wouldn't generally meet, but the trail brings us together. And that's the idea behind the trail, bringing people from the area together so that we can ride together, be with each other, and enjoy each other's company.
So, you know, it's just like amazing in my eyes, because at the end, you can see in every step, my job is so easy. Everybody can find something to do in the partnership area. And what can I tell you? The bike trails, the beauty of this area is just like you don't need. We say 1,000 words will not describe one beautiful picture. Look what a diversity it is. But we actually going to the next place. And are any people actually visited this bike trail?
Yeah, exactly right. Many people already visited. One of them actually is our current chair, Ron Salish, who is joining us right now and wants to say hello to everybody. Look at him, already inside our Jezreel Valley, all the way from Detroit. So welcome, Ron, and thank you for being with us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. It's great to see Michael, Amir, and Hashem. You'll see behind me the valley itself. You know, we talk about it being partnership, but it's really mishpacha. It's really family. And the parallel is something we've all enjoyed together. Michael, Amir, Hashem, we've all ridden the trail together. And what many people don't realize is that on a daily basis, we actually share our rides together. And I get to see what my brothers in Israel are doing on a daily basis as they ride the trail and ride the area. So thanks so much. It's a wonderful thing to have the trail and have kind of a shared society and see these very diverse communities connected. And here in Detroit, we're glad to participate in supporting that.
Well, thank you, Ron. And oh my God, I think we have like 3 minutes to talk about this vast, Jezreel Valley, and I'm gonna try and do it on steroids. All the ways from the, the west side of the valley, where my kibbutz is located. We're gonna see a little bit of Nahalal, just some images. We'll get to visit Kfar Yoshua and say hello very soon to a family in Kfar Yoshua, all the way to the east side of the valley, where, Kibbutz Merchavia, which was the first community in the Jezreel Valley established in 1911. The valley is so vast. It's one of the biggest geographical municipality in the state of Israel, close to 8,700 acres, comprised of a diverse population, kibbutzim, moshavim. We have 2 Arab communities, 2 religious communities. The valley has so much to offer, so many, historical sites like Tzipori, where the Mishnah, the Jewish laws were written. You see the Mona Lisa of the Galilee Mosaic, Beit She'arim, the historical Jewish burial site, and you see the menorah dating thousands of years old. When you come and visit, you can see that. The valley has so many celebrities, historical figures that called it, its home the past, so many years. From the first, female prime minister, Golda Meir, was, who spent time in Kibbutz Merchavia, to Moshe Dayan, the chief of staff and the defense minister during the 6-Day War, to our current chief of staff, Aviv Kochavi, who was also from our Jezreel Valley, to the internationally acclaimed Meir Shalev, who visited Detroit many times and written so many great novels, to Ilan Ramon, the first astronaut, tragically died in the Columbia shuttle. And you see Asaf, his son, right next to him, who unfortunately, tragically was trying to follow in his dad's footsteps and become an Air Force pilot, and tragically died in a training accident and is buried right next to him in Nahalal, right here in our Jezreel Valley. But we don't want to talk about sad things. The valley has so many wonders to offer when you come visit, from boutique wineries to honey and cheese and ATV rides and hikes and sites. There's so many things that our valley can offer you guys when you just come and visit. So we're gonna get right into Nahalal. Benny, just take us through Nahalal just so we can see how it looks like, and we're gonna go right to Kfar Yoshua next and visit with the Ezer family. So take us right there, and we'll continue to the Ezer family.
Yoav, I want to come. You just tell me when, and I'm coming. It's wonderful. Look, there is so many things to say, so many things to see. Nahalal is really special because you can fly above that, and it's have this amazing shape. Because of its shape, this community, this moshav, was almost recognized by UNESCO to be a heritage site. But they decided to have another generation of community to come in and live. They decided that the next generation is more important than a UNESCO badge. And that's for me, when I hear everybody speaking about challenges and next generation, and that's what I hear, is that for us, or for the people that are making the valley and the partnership region, even as somebody that observing it for the last 13 years from the first time I met the partnership region, that's what I feel, that's what I see. I see that people are deciding that a badge of UNESCO heritage site is less important than the next generation. And that's what's happening here. So it's beautiful community. There is so much high-tech agriculture. We spoke about the urbanic areas, but literally this area of the valley can be unbelievably interesting, from like robotic milking systems to some other different things that you can really see, like fields and special, special mix for the cows to eat, to these machines that sometimes you can see this sticker, and this sticker is actually made in Israel. And even the food, this piece of mixture of dry straws. It's a patent. So there is a lot of really cool things to see. And
Benny, my friend, thank you
so
so
back
much.
to you, Yoav, because really
we got out. I know we're very short on time, and we have such a special family waiting for us. We're gonna make our way from Nahalal, you know, right next to the Air Force Base I told you about. We don't have time to talk about the controversy of turning this Air Force Base into the second international airport in Israel. God forbid that might happen, even though you guys will land right in our valley. None of us wants, you know, here wants to see that happening. So God forbid that happen, but between Nahalal and the Air Force Base, we're gonna make a way to see the Ezer family in Kfar Yoshua, right next to the Air Force Base. So let's welcome in the Ezer family.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Eli.
I'm Dana. I'm Ilana. Shalom.
Shalom. We are the Ezer family. We came back after living 20 years in the USA, in the States, in New York in particular, and we came back to this wonderful village. I was brought back here by my wife who was born here, and I enjoy every minute here.
I was born here. I'm third generation in Kfar Yoshua. My grandparents established this village in 1927. My father was born here, grew up here. And Dana is the fourth generation, and Dana and her brother, fourth generation. So my connection with the partnership started 9 years ago as a camper at Tamara Camps, part of the Israeli camper program. After I came back from camp, I joined the leadership program here in Israel for 4 years. During that, I went back to Tamarack for 2 months at the TSS program. After the Army, I went back to Tamarack as a counselor and joined the leadership program as a counselor. So this will be my second year as a counselor. And I want to say hi to the Findling family. Miss you all, and thank you for making Michigan my second home, for feeling like home away from home. And we're looking forward to host you and to see you here, and to show you all the wonders of this beautiful valley, and Kfar Yoshua in particular.
Thank you to the Ezer family. And another great example of so many of our partnership families, or this multi-generational partnership families. You see the parents and the children together as volunteers and program participants. And we have so many of these families now, and it's a great way for us to expand the reach of our partnership programs. And I'm hearing that we have an opportunity to hear live from Dana, we just heard from. Dana, are you with us? Can you ask you a couple of questions?
Hi.
Dana, welcome. Where's Dana? I want to see her as well. We're gonna showcase Dana in a little bit. And Dana, if we said that, that Evyatar and Liraz are a poster family of the partnership, you're definitely a poster program participant. You've done so many things with us, from being an ICP camper to teen leadership, to TSS, and now you're a counselor in our teen leadership program. So many great things. How would you say all of these experiences shape you to be the amazing person you are today?
So I'll say that it was a luck to be in. I got lucky to be in these programs. It made me more mature. It helped me to get to new situations easily, to adjust them easily. It helped me to meet new community and different culture. To expand my horizons, and to meet great people that I wouldn't have any chance to know if I wasn't part of the partnership and the ICP.
Dana, that is so great, and we are blessed to have you. And I know you're making your way to becoming a doctor. Hopefully soon, once you're done with your SAT, you're gonna be done with your SAT and you're gonna be a doctor. And once you're a successful doctor, because I know you're gonna be one, and again, like I asked, Eden, the entire world is gonna be open to you. Any chance, we heard you're a fourth generation now in Kfar Yoshua, any chance in your future thinking that fourth generation Kfar Yoshua might become a fifth generation and keeping you around in our area?
For me, Kfar Yehoshua is home. So my ideal is to live here and that my children will live and have the same experiences that I had as a child, as growing up. It's a small town. It's really a close community. So it's really great place to grow in. I see myself live here in the future. Of course, as you said, with the airport, it wouldn't be possible to live here if they'll build an international one.
Not gonna happen, Dana. Don't worry. Well, Dana, we all hope that we'll get the chance to keep you here, and that fourth generation will become a fifth generation. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining us. And that, you know, we want to conclude. You know, when I want to bring us back full circle, Benny is going to take us around, you know, and show us again some views of the valley. I want to remind everybody, you know, that the partnership is all about people-to-people connection. You see some connections, you know, the amazing connections behind me of Israelis from our partnership region, from Gal, from Tel Adashim over here to, you know, to Amy. You hear Dar, that is my young, Dar is crying because he wants my attention. But you hear about all these, you know, people-to-people connection. That you saw people from our, you know, from our partnership region connecting to people from Detroit and building families together. And hopefully that is something that we can continue to build on, you know, for the future. You know, the essence of our partnership is people-to-people connections. By the way, we do the same with our Israeli participants. That's Uri and his son Ben, who married Gal after they met on one of our partnership programs. And so really it's all about the essence of the people. And I can't wait to have you guys come here and visit us in person again soon. You know, so I'm gonna, you know, leave us at that. Thank you for joining us. You know, a couple of my kids here, they want to wish you, all of you guys, let me, hold on. You know, happy Halloween. Can you see them? I'm gonna take this off, you know, screen as soon as we're gonna summarize. So Gaia here, hold on. Gaia wants to show you, you know, her Halloween dress. Dar is in his Halloween costume. They can't wait to come and trick or treat. So thank you guys for joining me. And if you can stay and ask us a few questions, we're going to be right here. So thank you, everybody.
Great. And before we sign off, we just wanted to say that thanks to Benny and Yoav, to Jen in Detroit, and of course to all the people in the partnership in the Central Galilee and in Michigan who joined us today. And if you have questions, feel free to stay on. We are here along with the people you just met. And next week, we hope to see you in the dynamic city that never sleeps, Tel Aviv, full of urban culture that we will explore together. Toda rabah and lehitraot. Stay on if you have any questions, please.
You open for questions, Naomi?
Yes, we are. Okay, questions, so comments? Who have we got?
New to the committee. I want to know, when can I go mountain biking?
Post-COVID, there'll be mountain biking.
Part of our tour? Randy, can we do that as part of our tour?
Absolutely.
100%. So much to do.
It'll be in the best chance of
There's so much fun ahead. Thank you for this. This was wonderful.
Well, thank you. It's, you know what, the material's there. We have the most incredible partnership region. There's like 40 plus. How many partnership regions are there? 40 plus? 50?
46.
Mm-hmm. Huh?
46, I think.
46. Thanks, Betsy. And I mean, we are just so active, and this isn't hard to put together. It's what not to show, because it's just so dynamic.
Naomi, can I ask a question?
Of course. Hi, Michael Madden. How are you?
We're wonderful. Thank you very much. Surviving. What kind of plans are there based upon the peace agreements that are being made for expansion of travel and connections for other communities that are within that new expanded region?
Well, you know what? They're starting flights, and in fact, this morning, the first Lufthansa flight from, I think it was from Frankfurt to the Far East, traveled over Israel and over, it went to Saudi Arabia and it traveled over Israel. And I mean, and from Saudi Arabia to Europe, and the flights are meant to be starting to the United Arab Emirates and to Bahrain and to Dubai, Abu Dhabi I think within the month. 28 flights a week. So this is going to be a major destination. Personally, you can hear my accent. To get to Australia is going to be so easy. 3 hours flying over Saudi Arabia to Dubai, and then 14 hours in Australia, quicker than getting to Detroit from here. So it's really remarkable. Tourism's going to boom. European travel from Europe all the way to Asia will go through Israel. It could be now a destination. It's fabulous. Just we have to get rid of COVID and everything will be perfect.
Yeah. But more important for you is that we already have people on the ground there. We have so we're already building up a combined visit. It's only 2 hours away. It's like flying to New York for the weekend. So come to Israel, fly to Dubai for the weekend.
And also, just to add to that, the Jewish Agency for Israel, Jaffe, that one of our major partners, they're already working there with the Jewish community. Now, their needs are different. They're not a community in financial stress, but they need more Jewish education and Jewish learning and so on. So it's really, it's opening up. We're having, you know, this normalization agreements. It's extremely exciting. And we just signed a peace agreement, a normalization agreement with Sudan last week.
Naomi, there's a question. Can you say a word about the opportunity?
Oh, one at a time, I think.
Okay.
Donna.
There was just a question on the chat. Can you say a word about the Arab community's involvement in partnership efforts? That was the question from Alan Gale.
Okay, Noah.
Sure. So as you know, we have 3 communities that are part of the partnership: Nazareth, Tilitor, Nofa Galil, Migdal Emek, and Jezreel Valley. But between these 3 communities, there are 2 other communities that are Arab, Nazareth and Yafia. And these 2 communities make out the 5 communities that make the partnership path that you just heard of. Under the partnership path, this is our our umbrella for different involvements and different partnerships and different activities that are done in all these 5 communities together, including kids and adults from Yafia and from Nofag and from Nazareth, not just hiking and biking, but also teens getting together and doing all kind of volunteering work and getting to know one another. We have a collaboration that we are going to start with an NGO called Efshar Acheret. I can't remember the name in English. Yoav can remind me. You're muted.
A New Way is the name.
New Way that gets kids together from different communities to do all kinds of programs and projects together. So this is our umbrella program for the Arab Jewish communities getting together, and this is how they get involved. But beyond that, we all live together in very close proximity, and we're all friends and neighbors. So the atmosphere here, at least in our region, between the Arab communities and the Jewish communities, it's different than what you hear in the media. It's close, it's intimate, it's great. It can always get better. I'm not saying that, you know, we don't have ways to go, but it's not like what you hear in the media.
Okay.
Any more questions, folks, or should we sign off? Thank you so much.
Thank you to everyone. It's a wonderful mifgash, amazing mifgash to see everyone.
Mifgash, a meeting. A mifgash is a meeting. It was great. And we hope to see you next week, same time, when we go to Tel Aviv. Toda rabah, lihitraot, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.